Hello? You got it going, Jenae? Yeah? You recording? Let's get it. It's Taste Test Podcast, baby. Taste Test Podcast, Season 1, Episode 8. We back. Yeah. It was a bombshell that left off this past week or whatever. This Memorial Day we're recording on. Yeah. So the sparks was flying for this whole week. Yeah, we just gonna get into it. It's a lot to cover. Of course, we covering the Drake and Pusha T beef. We gonna get to that. We probably even gonna have our own little separate episode just to cover the whole beef or whatever. Who got the better diss in? So we gonna get to that. Don't worry, y'all. So yeah, let's kick it off. First topic. We're gonna start off with the jazz musician Wynton Marsalis. He recently criticized the rap culture this week. So basically, Marsalis, he's a well-known jazz artist, plays the trumpet and I think some other instruments. He argued that hip-hop was more damaging than a statue of Robert E. Lee to society and race relations. Yeah. That happened this week. So yeah, talking about sparks flying. He went in. Yeah, I actually got an article up here, but I'm gonna let you get your thoughts in first, Jenae, and then I'm gonna read off his article. This article I found.
I think that he should just stick to jazz. I was reading the article and I tried to pull some points of his that actually made sense, but they did not. And the very comparison of saying that it's more damaging than a statue of Robert E. Lee. Come on, dog. Really? Rap and hip hop? Really? Really? Like I don't know what else to really say about it. It was just he said nothing really to back up his argument. Dude asked him about how he felt about This Is America by Childish Gambino or whatever, how he felt affected by that. His answer was stupid. But that's really all I gotta say about it is just stick to jazz.
So okay, so I'm gonna read this off and then get my comments. This article that I got, it comes from spin.com or whatever. So this is what they got, some quotes from him. It says, and I quote, to dismiss an entire form would indicate ignorance and refusal to accept fact. Marsalis writes in his new post, to question the mainstreaming of explicit adult content should not be considered irrational, prejudiced, closed-minded, or high-minded. It is a normal question that anyone with kids or who is just concerned about the general cultural atmosphere is forced to ask. A number of, not all, hip-hop musicians have gone on record saying that the marketplace and the industry encourages them to make their material more commercial by adding violent and profanity-laced, materialistic, and over-the-top stereotypical images and concepts for the work. Marsalis argues, discussing the corrosive influence of hip-hop culture on black culture. They, too, I quote, they too know that this methodology reinforces destructive behavior at home and influences the world's view of the Afro-American in decidedly negative direction. End quote. So that's what he said after he had made his initial comments about the whole comparing rap culture to the Robert E. Lee statue. And after hearing his kind of cleanup, I like to say, I see what he's saying. This is not anything really new because we had this in the 90s when Dolores C. Tucker, she was kind of going back and forth with Tupac. They had this similar argument. Hers was more so talking about she was talking about how it was degrading more so to women. That's what she felt. And I could definitely see that. But Tupac's kind of argument was, he's like, I make music for both sides. I make music for, quote unquote, the bitches and hoes, and I make music for who I deem as women and queens because he, definitely had Brenda's Got a Baby and Dear Mama, tracks like those that uplifted women or shed light on the,
Yeah.
community. And then he had songs like I Get Around. So he was correct in those statements,
Right.
showing the duality. So I can see, yeah, hip hop definitely, like I said before, I felt like we kind of lost, hip hop and it was turned into rap culture or whatever when it became commercialized. You know, communism. Why am I saying that? Capitalism kind of took the reins over it, and all these, record labels, these powerful industries with the money backing them, kind of have more control because that's how these rappers are getting paid. So they gonna kind of listen to somebody who's gonna, pay them more so than do the quote unquote right thing or whatever. So I can see what he's saying. I don't completely agree. I can't say I totally agree on what the initial statements he said, comparing it to the Robert E. Lee statue. Not comparing somebody who was literally going
Yeah.
against the government trying to uphold slavery. I can't really co-sign that, Mr. Marsalis. So
Exactly.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
not at all. But
Uh,
it reminds me of when gangster rap first came out back in the '90s. So with Public Enemy and NWA, and they were talking about how the violence of hip hop was starting to influence. And I was actually reading a conspiracy theory one time. Y'all, please don't go in on me for reading my conspiracy theories. I got bored in college, and they were saying that the labels were paying the artists, like we said earlier, to mention violence and things like that in their music, so that it then in turn it was affecting black culture and creating more violence within them. So it's kind of like that whole quote unquote the Illuminati type bull crap.
I don't even want to get
So it's
into.
interesting that you're trying to bring that up.
I don't even want to get into it,
That's
calling
what I
it
said.
the Illuminati or whatever. But there's no question that these record
That's why I said.
labels,
That's why I said quote
they
unquote.
they don't.
Quote
I
unquote.
wouldn't say they have the best interests of the black community in mind. So that's not. I wouldn't say that's a stretch for sure or whatever. And how that kind of trickles down to the black community. Music, and this is kind of like a deeper
Exactly.
conversation. I don't want to like go down the rabbit hole, but music has been proven that sound, specifically music, can influence people a lot better than somebody reading a book, because sounds and music particularly,
I
it
agree.
passes your frontal lobe before you can cognitively be able to decipher what's right and wrong. So it's easier for somebody to get on a melodic song and put a nice beat to it or whatever, and you can memorize a freaking song before you can memorize, your, math equation. A math equation you're trying to study for a test,
Yeah.
unless you put some music behind it. And that's one of the reasons. That's some,
Yeah.
scientific, you can research that on your own time. We're not going to really get into that, but yeah, it's pretty much proven
Right.
that, music has influence on you. But I also say it's personal accountability as well. Because this happens to
Exactly.
me all the time. I'll be listening to music. I like the beats and stuff, but after listening a few times, I know it's like, yeah, I don't really agree with all y'all saying. I mean, it's nice or whatever. I don't agree with it, but you got to take personal accountability.
Exactly.
So I wouldn't blame this all
Yeah.
on the
And
rappers
I'm like,
and or
where does
whatever.
personal accountability come in?
Yeah,
If you can be easily influenced by some music, that's an
yeah,
issue.
yeah, yeah.
I mean, I mean, we've grown up listening to this type of music.
Mhm.
I'm not going out here and pulling a gun on a nigga talking about oh, nice watch, run it.
Nah, yeah, and this is
Like
that's a serious problem, especially
we can only give hip hop so much.
yeah. Before you have to take accountability.
To the black community.
Yeah.
I'm accountability, 100%. I'm not saying that it has not helped the influence. I'm not saying that, but we first need to start with cleaning up the first before we can even start getting in on rap and hip hop. Because at the end of the day, most of these rappers and these hip hop artists are going home to their kids and their wives at the crib. They ain't going to the trap.
Nah, not at all.
They not busting niggas upside their heads anymore.
Yeah, we gonna get into that a little bit about this Drake and Pusha T beef.
Still wear his Crip flag, but he's also cripping from North Hollywood in his $5.5 million mansion.
Yeah.
All right? We can only give hip hop so much leeway for what they've done in the black community, but that's neither here nor there.
Facts only. Yeah. So let's segue still talking about hip hop or whatever. One of the biggest hip hop artists, Mr. Kendrick Lamar, recently had an incident with a fan this month. Yeah, Jenae, why don't you just give them the details on this whole little conundrum?
Set that girl up. He set her up. He set her up.
Batter up.
He set girl up. He set her up.
Yeah.
K-Dot was wrong. Out of all the fans to call up there for that song. Now, do I blame K-Dot for the girl saying the N-word? Absolutely not.
Hold on.
You should have set your ass down. Because the thing about it is, she felt so comfortable saying it, so you know she say it when the song come on.
Yeah. All right, Jenae, tell them exactly what happened. Tell them exactly what happened. Let the people know exactly what happened.
If y'all don't know, K-Dot had a concert or whatever. What song was it?
It was Mad City. Yeah.
Mad City. And so he calls the white fan on stage to rap the words with him. So as she's rapping off beat, he says, "My nigga." He stops the music and he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa. What are you saying? Yada, yada, yada." So on her face, it's like, "Oh."
She said, "What's wrong? I'm not cool enough for you, bro."
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is, K-Dot, you set her up. You already know what Mad City say.
Okay.
You know you say nigga in Mad City at least 20 times.
Yeah. Okay.
Should she say it? Hell no. She should have never said it in the first place. She could listen to that song without saying the N-word. However, he set her ass up, and he shouldn't have brought her white ass on stage.
Okay, so here's the thing. I also, when I was checking out this story, I had first had my initial reactions or whatever, and then I found out that Kendrick, he had somebody else come on stage before her, because if you listen to the video or the audio,
Oh, really?
yeah, he says such and such knew the rules before you got up on stage or whatever. So he's implicating that somebody else was already up on stage, and I'm guessing it was a non-black person, and he was like, he knew the rules. So basically, he was like, why couldn't you do the same? Basically, so while I'm not gonna let Kendrick Lamar off the hook, I'm not giving the girl a pass either, because you knew it was two clear things that let me know that she knew exactly what she was doing. One, when he stopped her, he said, hold on, such and such, he knew the rules, and she was like, "What's wrong? I'm not cool enough for you, bro." And then he was like, "There's one word you can't say," and she was like, "Oh, did I say it?" She played the innocent white girl stuff that black people we experience all the time. So she pulled that number, and then when he gave her a second chance to do it over, but censoring herself, not saying the actual N word, like all the life seemed to be sucked out of her. You could tell her energy was not the same when she had to do it over when she was bleeping herself. Because when she was doing it at first, and when that N word came up, she was going hard. She's like, "Good, I run my nigga." Yeah, yeah. She felt. Now that gets me to Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick, what was you thinking, brother? And this is where I kind of lean towards what Mr. Marsalis was saying earlier, especially when you go to these concerts. I don't understand what be going through these rappers, these black rappers' heads when they feel like you can say the N word or whatever, but the crowd, not Jenae, we've been to concerts before. The crowd is predominantly white most of the time because black people we're not able to afford all these tickets because you know what our economic state is in America or whatever. So how can you get mad when you saying the N word to a crowd full of white people? Music blasting, you can't help but hear it. You surprised they're actually saying it? Come on, Kendrick. So I ain't trying to tell nobody what to do at their shows.
They're saying it all the time.
Yeah.
Like I don't see how he could be
Yeah.
surprised.
And which is why I agree with you. I think that shit. Yeah, it seems staged to me when I look at it. I looked at it several times. I was like, it just don't feel right. And like you said, it seemed like he set her up. So yeah,
he set her ass up.
Yeah,
and I wasn't right for that.
So
he knew damn well. You saw her in the audience, and you probably saw her saying it in another song.
Yeah.
It was a setup.
Yeah, so
and she got it.
Definitely did.
So hopefully she and other white people learned a lesson.
I doubt it, but I doubt it, but yeah. But yeah, so I guess it's clear. I would say Kendrick Lamar deserves more blame than the actual fan, even though she knew better, but Kendrick, you definitely knew better. So my next question I would ask, do we believe artists should use the N-word at their concerts? If you're a black artist, should you use the N-word? Or should you kind of do what they do on the radio? They leap out. Because this outfit on the actual records, I'm not really tripping. But at a concert, because it's a live performance and there's actual people there, so people gonna say the word anyway in the comfort of their homes and stuff. So that's why I'm not really tripping off if they say it on record or whatever. People who's been saying the word before hip hop music. So, but at a concert, white people can always use the excuse, even though I don't agree with it. They're like, well, you're saying it here, and this is one of my favorite artists. So I mean, why can't I say the word? I mean, come on, it's just music. I mean, they're saying it at the concert. I just want to sing along. So, I personally think they should not use it. I think they should do what they do on the radio, bleep the word out. But, that's going to be left up to every individual artist. And we're going to get into an artist later on in the show. His name is Odyssey. And I don't know if you noticed, he doesn't even curse on his latest projects anymore or use the N-word.
Yeah,
so yeah, but we're gonna talk about that later. Yeah. But yeah, I wanted to know
as far as
what you thought.
They've been talking about that for years. Like they've been talking. That was real popular a couple of years ago when they wanted to ban hip hop artists from saying the N-word in general on their tracks. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. But
it was a big commotion about it, like some years ago, about hip hop artists and artists not using the N-word in general anymore in their music. And a lot of artists were upset about it because they felt like they should have the right to say whatever they want, express themselves in their music, which I agree with. Do I think it should be bleeped out at concerts? No, just don't say the shit if you ain't black. It ain't that hard of a fucking concept, excuse my language. It's not that hard of a concept to not say the N-word. I don't say when I'm around my parents. Man down where you from, my bleep. Because I'm with my mom. So, like they said on Twitter, if I can dodge not cussing around my parents and say the N-word around my parents when I'm listening to this song, you should be able to be at a rap concert and not say the N-word if you're not a person of color or black. I wouldn't even say person of color. Black. For the people that they made the word for. If it ain't that hard. Period. controversial word has nothing to do with your ethnic background or your specific skin tone, shut the hell up, leave over like the rest of us, and keep going on about your day. So no, the N word should not be sensitized. Not at all at their concerts. On the radio, okay, fine. But at their concerts where we're paying to go see them perform their art, and then we're going to censor their art at their concert, absolutely
Hmm.
not. Absolutely not. No, just don't say it.
Hmm. That's
Boom.
interesting. Yeah. I disagree with you, but I totally see. I can definitely see what you're saying, especially some of the points you make. I definitely think this is a conversation that still needs to be had. Yeah, thank you. I think this is a conversation we definitely need to have amongst ourselves. Uh, but yeah, I definitely think artists should at least take a little bit more responsibility socially, especially with the times we're living in right now. We need to start being able to think outside our own little circles, because this is not just affecting you in your own little town, your own
Yeah.
little city. This is affecting us, countrywide and nationwide, and it's been going on for a long, long time. So, y'all hollering about change, look at yourself in the mirror and be that change. So that's all I gotta say. Uh, but yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, we gonna move on to some less controversial stuff. Try to calm it down a little bit and get into the album swap.
Right.
Very interesting album swap this time. Today, let them know what you gave me. Let them know.
I gave JR, if y'all don't know, he's like an Arabic rapper, which is kind of funny because so was Odyssey. And
Yeah, that's funny.
his name is Nav, and he had a new album drop called Reckless. I've listened to a couple of his songs, but I was with my boyfriend when the album had dropped, and I was like, oh crap, he dropped a new album. That's the one I'm giving JR for his album swap. So, um, yeah, I liked it. It was a nice little joint. He got a couple little bangers on it now. Do he got bars? Absolutely not. But it's a nice little song. And I knew I give it to JR, and I know he's absolutely go. I knew he was gonna hate it. So I was like, this would be fun to make him listen to this for 54 minutes. So go ahead and tell him what you thought.
The name of the album is Reckless, and that's the exact feeling I got when I listened to this crap. I'm sorry. This was bullshit. And I hate trying to go in on these new upcoming rappers nowadays, the Lil Pumps, the Yachty's, and now this guy named Nav. I don't want to sound like the old Negro in the room, but I'm going to sound like the old Negro in the room for the next 5 minutes, okay? This was utter crap. Utter crap. God, I tried listen. I really tried. I tried to listen. I just couldn't. I turned it on at least like 3 different times throughout the week, and like really couldn't get past the first song. I was like, ah, what is this
I knew
monstrosity?
you was
This
gonna hate it. That's why I gave it to you.
hold up. What was the first track? I can't even remember the daggone name. I was just it's on top of all the other music stuff we had, it was just hard for me to like listen to this. So I finally did listen to it all the way through this morning while I was cooking breakfast, which I should have done from the jump anyway, because I already felt like I wasn't gonna like the project. So I should have just had it playing as background noise
Right.
instead of trying to actually sit down and listen with an open, clear mind and listen to it a little critically or whatever. It's I guess it's cool. I guess I can see why the younger generation coming up under us, Jenae, can rock with this music. It's mindless. It's mindless music. There's no real content at all to
Yeah.
this, other than getting money,
Yeah.
getting the baddest girls you can find, and talking about rich nigga shit that we cannot fathom. The common person, somebody working a 9 to 5 cannot understand any of this bull crap you talking about. This don't apply to us. It really doesn't. And you're not even doing it in an interesting enough way for me to be like, hmm, that would be nice, you know. I mean, the stuff he talking about is so cliche. I mean, and we're gonna get to Pusha T. I mean, he's been talking about the same stuff for the last 10 to 15 years. I understand, but at least
Yeah,
he can talk
that's
about it.
some clips.
But at least with Pusha T, he can spit and he can rap about it in a clever way enough to where you can be like, he's a dope artist. I may not really care about what he's talking about, but I can see the appeal. I really can't see that with Nav, other than the fact that
Yeah,
if you're young, you know, you're not really into lyrics and stuff like that. You just want to listen to the, you know, the beat or whatever, how the flows the rapper is rapping on. I guess, but it's just hard for me now. I'm 24 years old. I'm tired of. I want to get solid content. You know, something I can, you know, go back and listen to it again and again and pull something different every time. I know maybe that's a lot to ask for a young artist, but then again, it's not because Nas, his first album was, I don't know. I don't want to compare him to Nas, but I'm
bro.
sorry. I just sound like the old nigga in the room, but hey, what do I know? You
Man,
know,
I knew you would go hate. I knew you would go hate. I when I first listened to it, I said, "Oh, JR gonna hate this. This the album I'm giving him for the album swap."
and I knew I was like, Jenae trying to punish me. I was like,
Cause
what did I do?
I
I
didn't
was
like
like, what did I do, Jenae? I just gave you this man Odyssey's record where we about to get into. I was like, this is such a dope slap on album from last year. And she wants to give me
you
this.
should like this week. You should like this week's album swap.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
You
calm
should definitely
down.
like this week's album swap. You should definitely like this week's album swap.
I'm gonna calm
I'm
down.
giving you something to like this time, but I knew you would hate it. Cause I couldn't like it on. I didn't like it on first listen either. I was like, "What is this?" Then I listened again, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get JR this. He gonna hate it." So that's what I got.
Fine, whatever.
My bad.
All right, so I gave Janae, like I said earlier, album swap for this album called "The Iceberg" by this rapper named Odyssey. Uh, like you said, he's a Arabic, yeah, rapper or whatever. He's from Africa. I forget what country, what freaking country. It's one of those northeastern countries I want to say in Africa, but I can't remember. That's bad. I should know. I'll be trying to be on this pro black wave. I should know this. But yeah, he's a dope artist. I really like him. I was introduced to him by surfing YouTube and stuff and listening to other music channels and podcasts. They was talking about it, and I was like, when I checked it out, I was like, man, I've been sleep on this dude for way too long. It's time for me to share it with somebody else. So Janae, let them know your thoughts, uh, and everything on this particular artist and album.
Album was amazing. Artist was even more amazing. I would probably say it may be one or two tracks I really don't care for, but
Mm-hmm.
I'll listen to them anyway. Other than that, the album from beginning to end was beautifully written. The sounds, whoever produced it, did an amazing job producing it with the jazz saxophones and the trumpets.
Mm-hmm.
In a lot of the songs that he had. I mean, the messages behind the songs were even more amazing. I mean, when I say I was at work on Friday jamming,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
like I was hating for people to even stop to talk to me. Like it was a very well produced album, and he's also an independent artist as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Yeah.
was also a plus in my book. My favorite track would have to be Rain Dance.
Okay. Hmm. That's a
Rain
good
Dance
pick.
was cold.
Good pick.
You Grew Up, cold.
Good one. Yes.
Digging Deep,
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
woo! Digging Deep was the intro track. And he had my attention after the intro. I replayed it. I said, wait a minute.
You
This
didn't
was
know
the
what you
first
was
time
getting
this intro.
into.
So I replayed it.
Yep.
I was like, well, with intro songs, they're supposed, in my opinion, they're supposed to set the theme for the rest of the album.
Mm-hmm.
So if your intro sucks, it's hard to catch my attention.
True. True.
If your first song
I agree.
He picked a really good song for his first intro because it made me keep listening. And then it went into Things. Things was nice. Then it went into Built by Pictures. It was
Mhm.
nice. Hold It Back was nice. You Grew Up. I
Mhm.
mean, it was a real like when he gets to the in what is it in
And
energy
then yeah, energy.
and like
Yeah.
really the energy was not really my wasn't really my cup of tea. But then
Mhm.
it went into like
Mhm.
really picked the
I,
album back up, and then it was just momentum from there.
yeah. Yeah. I also
Like
forgot to mention
it was
he.
phenomenal. I mean, he has a face.
Yeah, I forgot to mention he's he I believe his parents are African immigrants, but he grew up here in the states in the
Yeah, they are.
DMV area, so Washington, Maryland, Virginia area or whatever. So I think that song "Energy" that was the song really he showcased like the DMV sound or whatever. I like that. I actually like the DMV music. That's also another reason why I really like artists like a Wale and Odyssey because I really rock with the DMV sound. Their brand of music is a different, it's an interesting wave. I can't really describe it particularly, for sure. And another artist I think that kind of moves in and out of that sound is Gold Link. So yeah, there I like those artists that come
Yeah,
from the DMV. I like their take on hip hop music or whatever the flavor they bring. But yeah, I'm glad you liked it, Jenae, because I definitely didn't like the album you gave me. So yeah, so
I
yeah.
liked it. I knew you would.
So yeah. So also, how did you how? I- I'm interested in how did you feel about him? The no cursing and anything. What did that kind of take you aback when you listened to it all the way through the first time? Did you notice it the first time? What did you think?
I noticed it from the first song. I noticed from the first song that he didn't curse.
Mm,
Because usually artists that curse will curse in the first song. And
true
I
that.
noticed it from there. And I was cool with it. I like listening. Yeah, you curse in the first track. Some artists get on there, bitch.
Yeah.
That's the first thing you hear. It was definitely a break from listening to a lot of cursing and rap music. I definitely feel like I could have jammed this on the way to church. And it
Yeah.
was perfectly okay.
Funny thing, I've done that before.
Like I was cool on
This is a safe.
it cool.
This is a safe album.
I
It's
could
not. It's not quote. It's not a gospel album, but you. I mean, he ain't talking about God and stuff, but he talking about real life stuff.
be too mad at this.
He's talking about real life stuff.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it was
it's not a
cool.
religious
Now
spin on it or
he got
anything.
on cursing and calling women bitches.
Yeah, he's just giving you real life stuff and
I mean, he did a
saying it
great. I mean, he did a
in a
great job.
clean way. And it is refreshing. It's like I wish
Mm-hmm.
I personally wish more artists would do that. It's like you
Yeah,
don't have to rap. Yeah, I mean you don't have to rap.
yeah,
Cursing all the time. Even with my favorite artist, J. Cole, I'm like J. Cole is one of the artists I feel like he don't need to curse because his vocabulary is wide enough. Like a lot of artists
really,
that I find out they
really.
curse a lot, their vocabulary is very small. Another artist I feel like that could do that is Kendrick Lamar. I
Mm-hmm.
was like, I would love, for us to challenge these rappers like that. We feel is lyrically capable. Hey, don't curse, don't say the N word. Just give us real raw stories, lyrics, nice beats.
Yeah,
See
because
what y'all
that's
can do. Like really
these
prove
artists, right?
prove to us that y'all really those guys or girls or women or whatever.
Yeah,
Another yeah, Rhapsody, she curses a little
I
bit, but she don't curse a lot. That's another reason why I like Rhapsody. Yeah, but
mm-hmm.
but yeah, that was
That's
that
it.
was that was an album swap. The album Jenae gave me was Reckless by Nav. I didn't really care for it, but you might. So you can go check that out as well as the album swap I gave to Jenae, The Iceberg by Odyssey. Definitely go check that one out. I believe I don't see how anybody couldn't like it, but to each his own. So one gotta go, and this one was done by Jenae this time. So y'all can blame her for her picking all these different albums. So yeah, Jenae, let the people know. Let them know.
For the hip hop section, it wasn't that bad. The hip hop section, I had Tyler Creator, Flower Boy.
hmm
Y'all already know my album, Sire by Jaden Smith. Birds in the Trap Scene, McKnight, Travis Scott,
hmm
and Good for You, Amine.
Okay.
So,
You want to count
that
down
is
like we
the
did last time?
pop segment, y'all.
You want to count down again today?
We can count down like we did last time.
All right, you go.
Let's count down again.
Go ahead. Go
All
ahead.
right. 3,
2,
1.
1. Birds in the
Jaden
trap.
Smith, Lost
What? Hold on. What?
Boy.
Birds in the trap. Sing me. Jenae, I can't even. Jenae, I can't even believe you said. Jenae, how could you say sire? You've been on Jaden Smith's. You've been riding. You've been riding Jaden Smith's wave this whole past year. How could you say that?
I love Jaden. I love Jaden. I love Jaden. I did not skip on the Birds in the Trap Sing McKnight. Not once.
Jenae,
Not at all. I did not skip.
I'm gonna make a confession, Jenae.
The whole way through.
I'm.
And had my entire head. What? Travis?
Jenae.
Travis.
Jenae, I'm about to make a confession. You ready? You ready? I'm about to go usher on you. These are my confessions. Yeah, I skipped half of that album, Jenae. I did.
Bye. I'm about to hang up.
I skipped half that album. And I don't know, you probably didn't even know this. I'm not that big of a Travis Scott fan. I'm really not. It's so much I can take of Travis Scott. I can his auto tune singing it starts to really tune me out and really get on my nerves after a while. I can only take so much of his auto tunes. Like I can handle Travis Scott in doses. I really like featured Travis Scott more than I actually like album Travis Scott. When he's on a feature, he does his thing because he ain't on the song for a whole album. I mean, he ain't on the album the whole time. I can only, anticipate him on one song. He get in, get out. You feel me? Like he sounds like a freaking robot trying to sing. That's what he sounds like. He sounds like a robot trying to sing. I just can't. It was a few songs that I will admit.
Always get it done. Yeah.
I just don't. I just don't. I had this conversation with a friend. I had a conversation with a friend of ours. We talked about it. It was several years ago. Before I think it was the Rodeo album, and that was I think that was probably his best album. But still,
Nice too.
but still, I was still like when I was listening to the album with her, I was like, I can't get with this dude. Like, I'm sorry, I just can't. And it was like it's like an auto tune overload for me. My head is about to burst. When I listened to that album, I was like, I kept looking at the track. I was like, dang, this album ain't over yet. Dang. I'm sorry, Jenae. And at first, when I first looked at it, I thought I knew for sure. I was like, yeah, I thought at first I was getting rid of Sire by Jaden Smith, but I was like, as much as people want to talk about Jaden Smith, this album, I was like, this was a well-produced album. Was it? He went hard. He experimented with his rap flows and stuff. Now, is he the deepest rapper, most lyrical rapper ever? No, but he better than a damn Nav and a Travis Scott. I'll tell you that. And so yeah, yeah, he's more lyrical than Travis Scott. Stop it.
Jaden had to go. It came down. For me, it came down to Sire and Good for You by Amine. It came down to those two.
Interesting.
So I listened to him because I knew I wouldn't get rid of Travis. Even when I sent you that I was putting down Travis, I knew damn well I wouldn't get rid of Travis. I knew damn well I wouldn't get a Flower Boy.
Nah, that was untouchable.
I almost did skip almost any track off.
I didn't skip not one track.
It came down to Amine and Jaden. And I almost chose Amine, but I can listen to Amine all the way through.
He's got some really big hits.
Songs on there that I did skip. So that's why.
I said he got some really big hits. Amine on that album.
What you say?
I said Amine got some big
Yeah,
hits on that album.
yeah, he had some really big hits on the album that you just couldn't deny.
Hmm.
Exactly. It was something that you just couldn't deny. So that's why in the end, Sire, which was my number two favorite album of last year, my top, it had to go compared to the rest of these. They had to go. But
I'm a
I
little
was
shocked
driving on
by
the way
that.
home listening to, the beginning of Jaden Smith albums, the BLUE, dog. Man, when I say I was on almost had to pull over.
Thank you. The intro alone did it for me. The intro alone was like, yeah, I don't even need to listen to this track, even though I eventually did, but I was like,
This album.
I was like, yeah. Anyway, so yeah,
But Jaden's intro?
yeah, Jada's intro was dope. That was a dope intro.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, I thought you were saying that it was. And I'm about to say, excuse
no,
me, he poured his heart out on BLUE. He
yes,
poured his heart. His heart.
yeah.
Man,
Which is why
I was
I
almost
can't
like,
believe you got rid of it. I can't believe you diss your boy Jaden like that, but whatever.
I did. Jaden had to go. Jaden had to go. They had to go. I love you, Jaden. Don't take this the wrong way. I love you.
Yeah, she don't love you. She don't love you like she
Now
says she
the
do.
okay, so now for the R&B.
This
The
was
R&B
hard.
was interesting because I already knew what I was getting rid of when I told you.
Really?
That's why I wanted to change it, but you wouldn't let me change it.
Nah,
Yeah.
nah, nah, nah. Nah. Nah, this was
So for the
interesting.
R&B section, we have "Diary of a Mad Band" by Jodeci,
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite groups ever. "Enter the Drew" by Drew Hill. "Boys to Men 2,"
Mm-hmm.
and then "Poison" Bell Biv DeVoe DVD.
Oh yeah.
I'll let you go ahead and count down.
Okay. Count down to 1, 3, 2, 1, 2.
"Poison" Bell Biv DeVoe.
No, 2 by Boys to Men.
I'm about to hang up on you.
I'm sorry, Jenae. You just gonna have to be mad. I was mad at you last week, so you just gonna have to be mad at me this time, okay? Sorry. Sorry. Compared to these other albums, like the boy, I say this. Let me get my spiel out, and then you can go. Okay. Okay. I'll give you this. Boys to Men 2. It was a very good album, but when I listened to it in comparison to these other albums, it just didn't have that oomph for me. Like Velvet DeVoe, they had some hits on there. Like I instantaneously want to go back and listen to those again and again. Same thing with Jodeci. Boy, it's I don't know. It's just I don't know. Boys and Men, they're ballad singers or whatever. So like when you listen to that multiple times, you kind of I don't want to say get sleepy, but it kind of gets repetitive for me. Like these other bands or whatever, like they had the more bouncier songs or whatever, the harder hitting hits for me. Like it was like I literally when I was at work, I literally want to get up and like groove to like most of these songs. Like with Boys and Men, I just want to sit down and chill. It's like cool if I'm relaxing with a lady of mine or something or whatever. But like at least with Jodeci, they gave me a variety. They got them songs you want to, lay back and chill with your girl, and then they got them songs, you kind of want to groove to a little bit. Same thing with
Trying to
BDD.
dig out.
Same thing with Drew Hill. So that's my reasoning.
And see, that's why I wanted to replace the Boys to Men with the Silk album, but you wouldn't let me change it. And you were like, no, don't touch it. Because I was going to replace Boys to Men.
Because I
And
really wanted to listen to these albums again. I haven't heard these albums in a long time. So, like, going back, listening to it again, like, I was able to reminisce a little bit, and remember some stuff. So that's why I was like, no, don't get rid
tonight,
of
by, no, Lose Control. I
it.
was
Okay.
going to replace it with Lose Control by
Okay.
Silk.
So which one do you hold on? What you got rid of
That I
poison?
think that would have gave me
Hold on,
more.
I just realized you got rid of poison.
I got rid of poison myself.
You are crazy.
I got rid of poison.
You are nuts. They had the New Jack Swing sound in, bruh. They had the New Jack Swing sound in, baby. This thing, you grooving, bruh. Bruh.
You know what I'm saying? It was nice.
That's because you a simp, Jenae. That's why. Jenae, you a simp. That's why.
Out of Jonathan using Boys to Men, but that makes me a simp.
But, Jenae, that whole Boys to Men album was simpish. It was. I'm sorry. It was. I'm just saying, that's why you chose it, because you're a simp, nigga. You're a simp. It's okay. I ain't saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
I didn't choose
Poison.
I chose it because BBD wouldn't talk about nothing but sex.
And Jodeci wasn't? Drew Hill wasn't?
Jodeci's my first.
Exactly.
Jodeci has written a lot of hits on that.
And BD didn't have hits?
Poison had what? Oh, let me go to the album.
Okay.
All the way through and listen, I skipped over half of Poison.
You tripping, but whatever.
I skipped over half of Poison.
You nuts. You nuts.
Over half.
I'm gonna have to ask around about this one. I'm gonna put this out on Instagram and really I want to settle this one.
You want to say that failure?
I ain't accepting nothing. I know I'm right.
I do need you. That was my jam. Do Me was my song. I ain't gonna lie. Poison was nice.
Just nice.
Well, I mean, it's Poison. Hello, we all love Poison. When will I see you smile again? Now that's my jam. I do need you. Other than that, I didn't give a damn about this album.
You nuts, but whatever. I mean, that's fine. To each his own. It's only 10 tracks.
Yeah, it's a short ass. It's a short album, but yeah, I skipped half of it.
That's crazy, but whatever.
You know, it is what it shall be.
Jenae's flavor is simpish. I'm more the Macish. I like hearing that Mac music. Yeah.
Hey, I am a simp. I can't sit up here and lie.
I want to hear the Mac music. I wish R&B artists would get back to that Mac stuff, but a lot of them are simping right now, which is cool. Cause I mess with Drake and the other artists like that. They simp a lot, but I like the Mac music. I want to hear some player stuff. Sorry. But yeah. I'm gonna try to poll this question on Instagram and stuff or whatever. See what people thinking. See if I ain't tripping. We gonna see. All right, yeah. So final thoughts, y'all. Moment, I don't know if y'all been waiting for it, but this has been a talk of the town this whole week. We just gonna jump into these latest albums that dropped. The first one, Pusha T's Daytona album. I loved this album. Oh my God. And I know, people, you're gonna kill me. But you said that you was tired of him talking about that drug talk. And I was. But but this man, he was a part of the Clips, one of the best duos ever in hip-hop history, along with Outkast and Mobb Deep and UGK, groups like that, or duos like that. This dude, he can rap. And yeah, he got the same content. He talking about coke, even though a lot of people ain't doing coke no more like that, so it sounds like he's still stuck in the 80s and 90s a little bit with the coke talk. A lot of people popping Xans and, all these other pills, perp or whatever. I don't know what they doing. It sounds crazy to me. Anything to make cocaine sound like a safe drug, something ain't right. But But yeah, the dude raps about it in such an interesting way. And the beats,
Crazy.
I believe Mr. West produced the majority of this album.
It is.
We have our quarrels with Mr. West outside of music. But when it comes to this beat making, Kanye West, I'm sorry. A lot of people say Jay Dilla is the best producer of all time. I'm sorry. To me, it's Kanye West. I am sorry. Kanye West, he is a mad scientist when he comes to producing albums, producing beats. I was like, dang, from the first track all the way to Infrared, the last track. I was like, this is beautiful. This is so beautiful.
Pusha T, man, I don't care about, because in my opinion, all that man do keep rapping about is how he sold drugs, and it gets a little old after a while.
Which I'm glad Drake, we gonna get to this later, but Drake, he talked about that, but yeah.
It's true. Hell, he's been rapping about the same thing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
He does it in such a way that makes you want to keep listening to him, because he is, at the end of the day, a really dope rapper. And do I think that he and Drake can go bar to bar? I don't think Drake can stand to him, but that's me.
We gonna talk about that. We gonna get to that.
Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna like the album, but I was excited for it. But then when I was at work listening to it, I was like, hey man, I'm pushing cocaine bricks. Don't talk to me right now.
Please, I'm pushing weight for Escobar right now. What y'all talking about? I'm on the set, y'all watch Narcos, but I was the real narc. What you talking about? I literally thought I was Scarface listening to this album.
If y'all don't leave me alone.
Yeah,
Pusha did a great job with Daytona. However, the album cover.
Yes, we gotta talk about that.
Whitney's hotel room, dog. That's disrespectful. Now, Pusha didn't have
Very.
much to do with that.
Mr. West paid, I think, $85K for this.
Yes, he paid $85K.
Come.
I see why Kanye did it because of the drugs and stuff. So
but did you have to do this picture though? Did you have?
Did you? Man, it's a fine line between art.
Because.
Being disrespectful.
Man, I hope I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie. I hope Whitney's family sued him. I'm sorry. Or give the album proceeds. Give some of the album. Finesse some money out of them. Give the album proceeds to go to their family. They get a percentage off that. Cause man.
Insensitive, because like they were saying, if somebody used a picture of Kim getting robbed as their album cover, you'll be ready to.
But Kanye, hold on, wait a minute. This is the crazy thing, because Kanye West is the same person saying that he wanted to get the doctor that supposedly did the surgery on his mom to be on his new album cover. So, as crazy as it sounds,
I hope he say no, you use it anyway.
and it really is sad because this album was so freaking dope.
It was amazing, and I know Pusha T couldn't do much about it. You know what I'm saying? You can't do much about it. But with such a great album and with that negativity, and not only that, then you had Drake's W freestyle come at you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it still nonetheless was a really great album. I really enjoyed it. Every track, all 7 of them.
Yeah, the only complaint I had was I wish I got 3 more tracks. If you could have gave me 3 more tracks, I would have been like, this album of the year right here. I was like, yes. If he gave me 3 more tracks, I would have been like, album of the year so far. So far. If he would have gave me 3 more, but he didn't. So it's up there. It's up there right now. Okay. But yeah, A$AP Rocky, he dropped his album called Testing. And me and I don't think we talked about ASAP Rocky that much between us. So I don't even know if you rock with ASAP Rocky like. Okay.
Let me tell you, dog. Wait, what song was it? Oh, I ain't gonna make cool. Oh, let me put on my headphones. What was the track with T.I. Kid Cudi? It was like the
Oh, that was the ASAP Forever remix. Yeah.
I'll probably be playing that also.
Okay. This is interesting because.
All when I say all summer, yeah, ASAP Forever. Man, Guns and Butter. Bangers. Purity. Bangers.
What about Praise the Lord?
Tone. Praise the Lord.
Woo!
Fuck.
143rd, that was a joint right there. I messed with that. Man, man, this is interesting because I know Pusha T been getting a lot of hype, half because his album was really good and half because this beef he just got into with Drake. So it kind of washes away what ASAP Rocky did with his latest album. And I know he's been on a hiatus. And I was upset. I was like, dude, you should have been to drop that album. This last time he dropped an album, I think it was 2015 or 16. That was a really good album. People slept on that. You know, I don't know. As much as I like this album, I don't know how much this is going to propel ASAP Rocky as far as being, up there like in top 5 discussion as he would want to be.
Yeah.
Because as much as I like it, a lot of this music, I think for a lot of people, it's an acquired taste. Because the name of the album is called Testing, and that's exactly what he did. He experimented or tested, quote unquote, tested with different beats, different flows, But the only thing I wish he would have tested is that this is where this is a little bit lacking for me with ASAP. His content. I think, for me at least, this is one of the reasons why I like, Kendrick Cole, Lupe Fiasco. They are very good at storytelling, also good at emotional depth, making it really personal stuff that you can really relate to. ASAP Rocky, he initially, when I first started listening to him back in his mixtape days, he talked about weed a lot. Then once he started getting into album mode, he talked a lot about, him being this artsy guy, this real cool fashion guy, whatever. Like a lot of people, if you're not into fashion, you're not going to rock with that. The hook for me was always his interesting flows, his rhyme schemes, and the beats, his experimental beats that he always rapped over. I just love ASAP as a artist. He's like, the way I describe ASAP Rocky is, he's basically like the weirdo cool guy. He's an interesting mix of weird and cool. And those normally never mix, but somehow he's able to mix those two for me without sounding corny or going over the top for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know how he does it. Like, you're weird, but you're cool at the same time. Like, I don't know, like, I can rock totally with your weirdness, but I kind of do want to hang out with you, though. Like, he gives me that kind of feel. I want to hang out with him.
I agree.
Yeah, so. Yeah, I love the album. Yeah, it's not getting a lot of buzz. I'm a little disappointed about that, but hey, it is what it is. Yeah. But yeah.
Beethoven's new album, Trap Hollers at.
Woohoo. What'd you think today?
I was not excited. Cool. My favorite tracks were the ones with T.I. on them.
That was funny.
I heard all the T.I. features.
I'm dead.
Every track he's been featured on, I've been in love with. Go Get the Money. Oh wait, they got T.I. on.
I'm dead.
Show It, T.I. Offset, and Kodak. Far. Other than that, I really didn't care about the album. I didn't like Wake Up and Cook. I did like Left to Blank with Young Dolph.
Okay, yeah.
It was nice. The intro was nice with Gucci. Black Privilege was cool. Buddha, whatever. East Atlanta Day. It was cool. Strong. I love Lil Uzi, so I'm automatically like that. Gorilla, yeah, boppable, but for the most part, uh, yeah, it's nice. It's cool.
Yeah, this album I only listened to it once, so it's hard for me to really give an honest, review or critique on it because I listened to it once all the way through, and I've listened to Pusha T's and ASAP Rocky's multiple times, so I'm able to
Right.
express exactly how I feel. I actually like Zaytoven. I think he's an understated producer. Of course, a lot of people talk about Metro booming a lot because it's well deserved. He probably is the biggest producer out along with
Mm,
DJ Mustard and Zaytoven.
right.
Uh, I like the fact that he uses like the piano riffs and stuff like that. I like that he can actually play the piano too, which is
Right.
interesting. Uh, I liked it. It was cool. Like I said, I gotta listen to it again. Uh, I don't know if I'll say if it has, you know, that repeatability for me quite yet. But I mean, I liked it. It was cool. I liked all the songs that had Ti on it as well, Jenae. So
Every T.I.
the one
record
with
is pop.
yeah, I like the ones with Gucci Mane on it, of course, because him and Zaytoven are real close. He produces a lot for Gucci Mane, so they have some chemistry. So those tracks was cool as well. Uh, yeah, that's all I can really say. I can't
Yeah,
really get
yeah, it's cool.
into it that
It's
much.
nice.
Yeah. So, other news. Uh, there's actually two Nicki Minaj things we gotta cover here. One is that she pushed her Queen album from July 15th to August 10th for reasons I'm still not sure exactly why. I didn't read too much on it. I just, caught it in passing or whatever. I mean, I kind of at first was anticipating a Nicki Minaj album, and then as time passed, and then listened to some of her singles. I was like, I'm not really rocking with these, so and I'll still listen to it. But now she's talking about pushing it back. Is making me more nah,
Not
not
so.
interested in listening to the album. It was like, okay, what is going on, Nikki? Are you pregnant? What's going on? What's really going on? I don't know. She could be. I don't know. Shoot.
I'm looking forward to it because I like the pink print or whatever. Pink print was nice. It was definitely a different side of Nicki that we didn't get to know. That we were able to get to know. I'm sorry. So I'm looking forward to her album Queen. But hopefully it ain't like I said. It's just not about getting her pussy ate and licking booty and shit.
Bagging
Like
white guys.
I just really hope that's not what this is about. I'm hoping I still get, to know Nikki in a different light because I really, really, really enjoyed the Pink Print, man. So I'm hoping that she can keep that same momentum going with this album, especially because she does kind of like J. Cole. She'll take a hiatus. Well, J. Cole will take a hiatus for a whole nother damn album. But Nikki
hmm
will take a hiatus for a couple of months off of social media, and I think that's healthy for any artist to do, because your life depends solely on what we think of you. You know what I'm saying? So I enjoyed it. So I'm glad she's back, and push the album back, Queen. Do whatever you got to do. Just make sure this album is nice. Do
Yeah,
whatever
that's
you
all I
got
gotta
to do.
say. Make sure the album nice.
Make sure the album nice. Push it back, whatever. Make sure it's cool. Make sure it's
Yeah.
cool. Whatever you got to do.
Yeah, and she says she bagging white guys. And speaking of white guys, apparently her and Eminem are item now. That just came out of the blue.
Wait, I thought they were just playing. I thought that was sarcasm.
Oh, they was playing.
I thought they
Uh,
were playing. I thought it was sarcasm.
I thought they were
Maybe
serious.
that's just my dark sense of humor.
I thought they were serious. Maybe they are playing because they had rumors of her and Nas dating, and then of course before then, her and Drake was supposedly messing around. So who knows? I don't know. Uh, it's starting to get weird. I don't know. She's just doing this to get buzz around her. For the upcoming album. I don't know what's going on. It was just weird to me when I heard it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Anyway,
Next.
so was it? Oh, the J Cole slash Lil Pump interview. Did you get a chance to check that out, Jenae?
No, I did not.
Okay. Okay. I watched. I sat down and watched the whole thing actually while I was at work. I was able to I'm able to multitask at work. Able to listen to YouTube and music and do my work all at the same time. So I was listening to that. From what I can remember, it was interesting. I can't say I was shocked by the interview because J Cole he was kind of already saying he kind of wants to bridge the gap between him, but not just himself, but these older artists and these newer artists that are coming out. And it was a it was a pretty good interview. I thought they, of course, they were able to talk about their differences or whatever, and they kind of addressed the 1985 track or whatever, Lil Pump or whatever. He said he didn't really have that big of a deal with it or whatever. He did. I know when it initially came out, he said that he just had heard that he was being dissed or whatever, so he just made a quick reaction video or whatever to J. Cole. But I guess he said after he actually listened to that thing, he was like, it's not that big of a deal. And J. Cole was like, yeah, it's cool. He's like, this really wasn't a diss. It was like, I was just saying my opinion, and it wasn't really directed at one person or whatever because he was just kind of addressing any of these new artists or whatever.
As a whole.
Yeah, and they also addressed some similarities they had. They both have stepfathers that they had some very interesting kind of tough relationships with, so they was able to connect in that sense or whatever. So it was it was interesting. I could definitely see it was some people I'm pretty sure from both their fan bases like, why y'all talking to each other? It's like, well, like I would rather, I would like to see this more often. These older rappers actually being able to have a civilized sit down conversation in public, like or interview style or whatever with each other, and just talk about their differences, and then maybe y'all can start to see y'all have a lot more stuff in common than y'all actually thought initially. Of
Right.
which I think that's the sentiment they both left with is like we are not as different as we think we are, or whatever. People gonna debate about what type of style they like more. That's always gonna be a debate. But we both artists and or whatever. So like, like there's no real point of us like actually beefing for real, for real. We can have these subtle disses or whatever because that's what hip hop has been doing for a long time, but it's more like a lyrical sparring or whatever to test each other's skills. It's not no real like I'm trying to mess you up type stuff. Like we already saw what happened with Biggie and Tupac. We don't need another one of those.
True.
So yeah, it's interesting, man. And I'd like to see this happen more often between different artists that are considered you know having different styles and stuff. But
Right.
yeah, yeah. Talking about older artists, Will Smith, he dropped a freestyle.
Freestyle.
Well, man,
Thought it was cute.
it was definitely,
It was cute.
it
Do I
definitely
think
was
Will
fun.
should be back in the booth? No, I do not.
I don't know. I kind of do want to see Will Smith get back in the booth. If he hook now, with the caveat of him hooking back up with exactly, that's what I was about to say. If he hooked back up with Jazzy Jeff, I'm all here for it. But if him and Jazzy Jeff ain't getting back
Ain't doing
together,
anything.
I'm not here for it. Cause
I agree.
I like the Fresh Prince better than the actual Will Smith. Cause
Hey, Will Smith though did have some balls.
he did.
He had
He was
some
letting y'all know.
alright?
He was letting y'all know. He's like, y'all rappers think y'all really got money. I got the money. He was stunning. I was like, dang.
Freestyle. I loved it though. It was a nice freestyle.
Yeah, man. I think it's.
If he ain't trying to get back in the mood with Jazzy Jeff, I don't want to miss.
I think it's. I think it's good to see these older artists still, come out every once in a while and let us know, like, hey, I still got it. If I want to, jump back in it, I think this is good for hip hop. I know hip hop is, normally always gonna be a young man's sport, so to speak. But it's good to see hip hop age, man. Like, they always, gonna have that older crowd that grew up with them. They still want to listen to music they grew up on. Like, why not? Jay-Z proved it already. Like, this man, like 45 or something, and he put out a wonderful album last year. Can't tell me like these older, and Pusha T, that man like 41.
And he still talk about fucking cocaine.
But it was a dope album though. You can't even lie. So you can't tell me hip hop can't age well. Like, if you ain't rocking with it, don't mean somebody else ain't. We do the same thing with you young upcoming artists or whatever. We don't always particularly rock with it, but we let y'all rock in y'all little space. So yeah. So last final thought, subject. I don't really want to talk about this too long, but R. Kelly and that's Tentacion or whatever his name. Tentacion. Extension. Tentacion. I don't know. Their music has been removed from Spotify's playlist.
And I'm here for it.
Yes.
I'm here for all of it.
Yes. Just interesting. If they're
women, and y'all already know R. Kelly like little people's booty holes. So
only thing is, I wonder, are they only doing this, especially with R. Kelly, because people are finally, it's popular, and people are finally saying like, we had enough of this with R. Kelly.
We tired of R. Kelly.
Are they only doing this just because it's a good look for them business-wise, which I can understand? It's a business, I get it, but are y'all gonna keep the same energy or whatever whenever this whole, Me Too movement, dies out, because it is? Y'all think this is gonna last forever? It's gonna die out like every other fad that people go through or whatever. So at Spotify, y'all gonna keep the same energy? I doubt it. I'm just gonna keep it all the way 1,000 with y'all. While
they doing what they gotta do for the come up.
I understand. So yeah.
I
get it. So yeah. Oh yeah. Artist of the week. I think it's pretty. Drake. R&B Drake. No, he got me with the Vanessa Williams. Vanessa Williams. This man literally came for your woman on the track. That is a no-no. And he went for it. That one was the nail in the coffin. That still hurt. We gonna talk about that later. We're gonna do another episode detailing that. Woo!
Rocky, you had a good week, dog.
And it's not even right, man. Because this was supposed to be Pusha T's week, but he just had to throw that jab at Drake. And Drake was just...
You know how Drake is.
Drake, you know how you get down. He responded within 24 hours. He stole your whole sign, bro, and he sent the invoice too.
I'd gladly go cash it too.
I would too. I mean, he ain't lying. He probably did help your album sales with this beef.
He probably did. Many people probably didn't even know Pusha dropped an album.
That is true. So yeah.
He probably did. But all in all, if you did listen to Pusha, you gotta admit the album was really nice though.
It was. I'm still listening to the album. I ain't gonna lie, but Whew, I think you lost the disc, but yeah, this.
That's nothing.
We ain't gonna talk about that. Okay, sleeper album slash song. Jenae.
I'm sorry. I just looked at what you wrote, and I'm a little upset with you about one of the things you wrote. A sleeper album slash song for me. Um, sleeper song slash album. I don't know. I don't think I have any for the week. I don't think I've been listening or heard of anything.
Yeah, it was a lot of music.
It was a lot of
It was
music.
a lot of music for
I
us to
had
take in this
time
week.
to think about somebody sleeping on something. Oh, yes I do. Yes I do.
Ooh.
SOBRBE.
Oh.
Last album, Gangin'. And that album came out February 23rd.
Okay. Yeah, I still haven't listened to that all the way through. I'm tripping, I guess.
Album swap.
Okay.
Listen to Gangin', SOBRBE. When I say I've been ready to fight niggas on any set that I already
They think she out here cripping and stuff now.
blood.
My bad. Don't come for me. I don't want them problems. Sorry, blood.
But I mean, when I always like SOBRBE, all right. But I forgot they had dropped the album I wanted to listen to, and I forgot what I was doing. So I was like, oh crap, I never listened to it. When I say I've been vibing all week, thinking I was gonna drop out and start selling drugs and start fighting niggas this whole week, like just with Pusha and their album.
Dang, that is a crazy mix. That's a lethal mix right there, Jenae.
All Friday, somebody could have tested me.
Yeah.
For real. My sleeper album is SOBRBE Gangin'. That's gonna be my sleeper.
Okay.
As far as my sleeper song, I'm gonna go ahead. I got it. Hey, that Love and Hennessy joint, A-Child featuring 2 Chainz.
I haven't heard that song yet.
Hey, it's called Love and Hennessy, dog.
I guess I'm asleep. Okay.
That's why I'm saying you got to get the sleeper song. There you go. It's A.Child, CHAL. It's called Love and Hennessy, featuring 2 Chainz and Nicky Jam. It's a nice little summer joint. I'll admit it has a nice little Mexican feel to it, a nice reggae feel to it, or whatever. I'm definitely gonna be bumping it because I'm in love and I do love Hennessy. So that's gonna be
that Hennessy, that Douce, that Crown Royal.
Hey, I don't drink Crown.
You tripping?
I don't want to go to another grave. I'm avoiding it as all as possible. So yeah, my sleeper album, SOBRBE Gangin', sleeper song, A-Child featuring 2 Chainz and Nicky Jam's Love and Hennessy.
Okay. So my sleeper album is "Care for Me" by Saba. I believe he's another Chicago artist that I really like. Have you heard of this album or listened to it yet?
No.
Yeah, you definitely should. I think it's about 10 to 12 tracks. Very nice. I don't know. I may do an album swap with you. I don't know yet for this one, but I still decide. Yeah, I loved it. He's more. I'm gonna say. I can't really say he sings and he raps. I say that.
Okay.
It's he goes in and out of singing and rapping or whatever. It's very interesting. I think he got real personal on this album. Very interesting, kind of details some of his past life in Chicago and with some family members of his. Very heartfelt, as you can tell from the title of the album, "Care for Me." But yeah, very good. Check it out. One of the better R&B / hip-hop albums of this year or whatever. So my sleeper song is "Booed Up" by LMA. Now, I was about to explain, Jenae. Let me explain. So it's a sleeper song because I slept on it. I was sleeping on this song. I ain't gonna lie. This is the first time I heard it this past week. I'm
Shut
not.
up.
I'm dead serious, Jenae. I'm not lying. Honest to God.
It's not because when everybody came down in April, when all y'all came down to visit, that's all Robert and Talisa kept singing was booed up.
I didn't.
That's
I
all
didn't.
they kept singing.
I didn't know the song they was singing because I hadn't heard it before, so it didn't connect with me until I heard the song. And now I've been listening to some of her projects now. I'm in love now. She actually has the same name as my grandmother, which makes it even more special.
My aunt named Ella May, dog.
Except it's not the way she spells it. She spells it M-A-I. My grandma spells it M-A-Y, like the month May or whatever. But it was special because that's my grandma. I love my grandma. Yeah,
Shout out
so
to grandmother.
yeah, shout out to all the grandmas. This past Mother's Day they came up. Shout out to all the mothers and grandmas. But yeah, this song is so beautiful.
Everybody was booed up.
It just make you feel good, man.
No,
Make you feel
everybody
good.
heard it. It's making you feel good.
I know. I'll be playing the mess out of it for the next week. People gonna be looking at me. She's like, "What's wrong with this dude?" It's like this song a bop.
But apparently the song had been out since like last year.
It has, which is why I'm surprised I'm just now hearing it. I'm like, where have I been?
And
Was it on the radio heavy?
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know if it was who was promoting her or anything like that. I don't know.
No, what
But when she was
label is she
promoting
under?
YouTubers, her shit just took off.
See, that's another surprising thing. I be on YouTube a lot. I was literally like just on YouTube listening to different music videos or whatever, and then hers popped up after I was listening to Jenae Aiko. What was that? I forgot the name of the song. It was off her latest album, but it came up after her video, and I was like, "Who is Ella May?" And then the video came on. I was like, "Where's she been?"
You trying to be booed up for the summer?
No, I ain't gonna say all that, but I wait till the weather get cold. Wait till the weather get cold. Wait till it's for hibernation season.
You gotta buy Christmas presents.
Hey,
You know what you
hey,
gotta do?
sometimes you got,
That's a foreign gift card for Christmas. That's okay.
sometimes you be like, hey, yeah, I don't think it's working out. Uh,
Working out, but
yeah, breaking with the girl right before Christmas. Yeah, I've been doing a lot of soul searching and I'm trying to devote my life to God,
stop it. Every woman has this deadline at this point. I just need to focus on my relationship with God. And I'm
And
just
I think it's
focusing
only
on
right
that.
that guys begin to take that line
Why you
back.
say that you just broken up with? I'ma just do me. I'ma focus on my relationship with God.
Exactly.
And these books.
It's the go-to. The go-to. Y'all should be
So
ashamed of
hey, me
yourselves.
and JR use that on one of y'all. Y'all know we bullshit. Just for future reference.
Oh man. But yeah. Whew. But yeah, the booed up, man, it got me in the vibe, man. It low key do make you wanna be booed up for the summer, but yeah, I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, we come to the end of the show. Oh snap! Oh, we forgot to mention this in the final thoughts. Our boy Lecrae and Zaytoven are teaming up for a gospel album.
I'm looking forward to that.
I really am. I'm interested to see how these two will mix.
I am looking forward. I'm totally looking. I saw that on Twitter. I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, and it's
If y'all
called
don't know
Let
who he
Let
is, go listen to his last album. What was it? All Things.
All
Work.
Things Work or something like that.
Yeah, All
Yeah,
Things Work by Lecrae. He dropped it last year, and it was a phenomenal album.
yeah. This album is gonna be called Let the Trap Say Amen.
Y'all, this is for all my ratchet
Woo!
Christians out there. I see y'all ratchet Christians, so I'm gonna take that back. But this is for
It's made, yeah.
that still love hip hop music and like still being a little bit immersed in the, in the culture a little bit. This should give us a nice influence.
But Now I will say for you, our gospel listeners out there, Lecrae, he doesn't curse or anything, so y'all can be safe that he's not gonna be cursing on this album. So
No,
I think it's
he's
gonna
not.
be pretty clean for you gospel listeners as well. If you want
Not
to check it
even
out,
ignorant.
don't
I think
don't knock it till you try it. That's all I'm gonna say.
I think it's gonna be a fantastic album. I'm excited.
Woo!
Now we're finally done.
Now we're done. Yeah, we went longer than we did last time, but that's fine or whatever. What can we say? It was a crazy week.
Yes.
Crazy week. So yeah. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, hit the bell on YouTube. You can follow us on SoundCloud, or subscribe to us on SoundCloud or whatever.
Mhm.
And subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts. Follow us
Mhm.
on Twitter,
Mhm.
Instagram, Facebook.
Yup.
Yeah.
All that. Taste Test
Okay.
Podcast. Except for on Twitter because it's Taste Test Pod.
All day. All day. And yeah, that's it, y'all. We love y'all. We are doing the Drake slash Pusha T beef thing. We're gonna cover that. So be on the lookout for that as well. And goodbye.
Bye, y'all.
No, I'm serious.